Hi everyone, I'm Francisco. I'm going to be guiding you through this Microstudio tutorial series in which we're going to learn lots of programming concepts and we're going to make cool games in the process. So this is the first game we're going to create. It's called Eater Game. That's how I call it. And pretty simple. You got a character in a 2D environment. You got a score, you got a diamond. You grab the diamond several times. The timer reaches 0 and you got a game over sign. May seem simple, but there's many concepts we're going to learn throughout this tutorial, this first tutorial. So we're going to be using a tool, a really cool tool called Microstudio. It's a great tool. You can program. So what is Microstudio? Microstudio is a game engine. It's a free online. You don't have to download anything. Free online game engine. It's really cool. I think they did a great job. I don't know if you have ever heard of Scratch. It's really popular, but I think it's like a step above Scratch in like what you can do with it, and maybe not that complex as maybe a professional game engine such as Unity or Godot. So I think it's a great next step after Scratch. So Microstudio, really cool, great tool. Some other feature really interesting about Microstudio, sorry, is that you can export your game for many platforms. That's something that is really cool, actually. Like if you create a really cool game, you can export it to have it in iOS, Android, PC, Mac, Linux, I'm pretty sure. Online as well, and there are some places they would recommend. This platform recommends you to post your game when you're done. So yeah, it's really cool tool. It's called Microstudio. I suggest you make an account. And yeah, so first game, Eater Game. Let's get started. So when I start a game, I like to think about the different components in the game, right? First component we have here, we have a little character. It's going to be moving in all directions, right? We need to program that. We have a little prize something is looking for, and it's going to appear in random locations if they collide, okay? And we got a timer, we got a score counter, and that's pretty much it. And we got a background and some sounds, so pretty simple game, but pretty cool, and we're going to learn a lot in the process. So we laid out the components, cool. Let's go to the next step, which would be making a flowchart. So a flowchart is a graphic representation of a process. Oh, I remembered. I'm pretty sure that's like the basic definition. But yeah, a graphic representation of a process. So it's really cool to make a flowchart because you don't have to code. You don't have to remember like the syntaxes of a programming language to do it, but it's really nice just to lay down all the logic, even if it's just like a rough draft. So in this case, I got a start, you got an end. I don't know any. I think you always need a start and an end. There may be situations where you don't, but in this case, you have it, right? You start, you check if the timer is below or equals to 0. If it's the case, then show the game over sign and end the game. If not, make the timer go down. Check and make character move. That's really important. What I mean with check is check if the player is pressing that key, and if so, make the character move. Check if there's a collision with a diamond. If there's a collision, don't do anything. But if there is a collision, increase the score by 1. Make a sound. I didn't put it here, sorry. Change diamond position, and then over again, and over and over and over. And then if it's the timer reaches 0 or is less than 0, then show game over, and then end the game. Pretty simple. Great. So we're going to go to Microstudio. We're going to go to Create. We're going to create a new project. The name of the project is going to be Eater. Awesome. And so here we are. So if you've never opened Microstudio, okay, so first of all, there are some tutorials you might want to do like a tour. I'm gonna talk about them during the whole process. But if you're free on a maybe afternoon and you want to do something cool, check the tutorials out. They're really cool. There are more tutorials here from, I don't know if there's some of the developers of Microstudio, but it's like some great tutorials as well. They're short and good. So going back to our project editor, here we have all our categories of like menus and screens, I would say. So for example, we have the code. Here we have all our files. Here we have, sorry about that. So in this code tab, we have our coding files. Every game has a main file, and you can have some other files that help this one with other parts of the code. Here in the main code, we got these three functions, which we're going to talk about later on, but they're really important. Here we're going to see like a live preview of our game, and here we have a console to do like get some feedback, and it's really useful for debugging your code. We got the sprites for characters and stuff, and assets. Everything graphic goes, graphic part of the like assets. We got a maps, like the maps part, so everything related to backgrounds and tiles and stuff. We got sounds, music, if you want to create your own documentation, and also we have settings. Here I'm going to ask you to, the aspect ratio, we're going to lock it down to 16 to 9. We're going to do that for this game in particular. And we're going to go back to the code, and we're going to start. So these three functions are really interesting. So these are like the main functions for a game. The first one in particular called Init. So pretty much, what's a function? Let's start with what's a function. A function is just some procedures encapsulated in that can run. When are they going to run? How many times they're going to run? So in this case, these three functions are pre-made. You don't have to do anything to them, but like write the procedures inside. But for example, init is a function that runs at the start of the game, and just at the start, only once at the start of the game. So you may want to put everything like in the setup kind of way there. Then we have the update function. This function runs 60 times per second, so has some logic of how the game's gonna develop, like what are the actions involved. And we got the draw function. It's gonna do it's gonna do everything with the graphic part. It's gonna draw our characters, draw the background, draw the assets, the score. Everything's gonna be drawn here. I'm pretty sure it also runs after each update, so 60 times per second. So yeah, those are the three main functions. And something I really like to do to like get started and just like feel like you're progressing is start with something that makes you look at anything. Like for example, let's make the character appear on screen. For that, we're gonna use a function. I'm gonna go deeper in functions later on. For now, let's just stay with a bunch of procedures encapsulated in a name. In this case, the function name is draw, and we're gonna have procedures inside. So we're gonna use another function inside this function called screen.drawSprite. Here you're gonna see like we got some options gonna help you out. So I'm gonna click on. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I thought it was gonna like autofill it. But anyway, drawSprite, and always, at least in this programming language, the functions are going to have this parenthesis at the end, which is helpful for writing the parameters of a function. We're going to go deeper into these. Don't worry too much right now. So the first parameter or argument, there's quite a bit of a difference in those words, but so the first, let's say, argument that this function needs is, okay, I'm going to draw a sprite. I get that. But what's the sprite name? Well, you know, the sprite name is, I need a character for that, right? So I need a sprite. I'm going to go to sprites. I'm going to add a new sprite. Not here. So this is kind of different than the sound. Sorry. So no, I'm going to drag and drop. So I have, I'm gonna recommend to you, if you like drawing, you can even draw your own character. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. So you can like draw your own character right here. You have colors, you have eraser, you have plenty of things. So I'm gonna draw a bit of a character here, and the name of it's gonna be Red Boy. That's the name. Yeah, why not? And I'm gonna go to code. So the first parameter you need is going to be the name. But since it's a word, you need to put it in apostrophes because you don't want it to get confused with a variable name. So that's why we put Red Boy in the apostrophes or double quotes. Yeah, that's the word, double quotes. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that's the first argument we're going to give to the function. And then the next one is where it's going to be located. So here in Microstudio, different to other engines, at least the one I've tried. So it's pretty much like Scratch. If you have tried it, you have a, like, imagine an imaginary axis right here. Actually, I can show it to you. I'm going to write 0. There it is. So we got a 0 in the, it's like a graph. You get 0 in the middle. You get positive 178 and negative 178 on the left. So you might want to put your character wherever you want. I'm going to go with 0, 0. So 0 in x, that's the second argument. The second argument is where in x is going to be located. It's going to be located in 0. 0 in y. Good. And the third one is going to be, well, how big is your character? Well, you know, like 30 pixels wide and 30 pixels high. So, yep, that's pretty much my character. I'm going to click play. There you go. I'm going to reload it, and yeah, there it is. So there's my character. Pretty simple. Pretty basic. Yeah, that's how you make something appear in the screen. I mean, at least a character. And so let's remember, first argument, the name of the sprite. Second argument, where it's located in X. Third argument, where it's located in Y. And fourth, where it's located, I'm sorry, the Y, the width, the height. Pretty simple. So you got options. You can draw your own sprites, or you could upload them. So there's a really cool website called kini.nl. Yeah, this one right here. So you got assets that you can download for, like, if you're more, I've noticed that if you're more into coding, you might want to like just download some stuff. If you're more into art, you might want to draw your own. There are many tools for drawing. Here you got one tool. Here you got this tool. I don't think there's layers. I haven't seen like anything with layers, but if you're into that, I would recommend pixel art. It's a really nice platform. Right, this one right here. You got layers. I think it's a bit more like pro. So you can download them. Actually, one I'm gonna be using for this game is, I don't even know where it is, but there's like a Game Boy character. Maybe I just, anyway, I found it here. I don't know where it is right now, but I can assure you it exists. Oh, here it is. Simplified Platformer Pack. Here it is. This is the one I'm going to use. Actually, here's the diamond here, well, or this one. Well, either way, I can use any of those. Here's the like Game Boy character. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to look for a. Let me see where here it is. So I can go to video game assets. Okay, so here I have my. Oh, I cannot. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna grab the idle. No, maybe another one. Maybe the jump. I'm gonna drag and drop it here. Here you got my character. So, something I would suggest you do if you upload a character, you don't want to have that much space not being used, because we're going to have some issues with distances later on. So something I'm going to suggest is select your character as close as you can to like the outer, the most outer pixel. So here I have 81, which I know it's 80 because I didn't like quite grab it right where it should be, and I got 73. So you might, for this game in particular, you might want to go for a square. So 80 is the longest one we have, 80 wide, and it can be 80 high. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select again the whole thing, make sure I grab every pixel. I'm going to cut, I'm going to make these 80 and 80. I'm going to apply it. If I do this without the cutting, it's going to deform my character, and I don't want that. So I'm going to click apply, I'm going to paste, and I'm going to like center it. I want pretty much the same amount of pixels on the top than on the bottom. So 2 and 2, that's great. Got it. Got a cool character. I'm going to change the name. This is like very long, and I'm going to refer to it quite often. Actually, that's not true because of what we're going to do later on. But anyway, you want an easy name. Oh, so Game Boy. Sorry, Red Boy. I mean, yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna need you for now. And I'm gonna take advantage that I already opened that one. I'm gonna grab a nice. So the cool thing about Kenny is that they're PNG, so there's no background. That's really cool. You don't have to, like, for example, if you want to make a video game like of something you like, let's say, I don't know, like a cartoon or something. If you find PNGs, that's really good because you don't have to like take away the background. It's like tiresome to do that. So let's grab a diamond. I'm gonna grab this different one right now. So I got this one right here. So in this case, yeah, I could do the same thing. I mean, so when we're gonna do the distance thing, to check the collision between two characters, two things, we're gonna do it from the center. So in this case, it's not that much of a trouble if it's like this big, because like this whole amount of blank area. But anyway, I'm gonna do it just for good practice's sake. So it's 30 by 30, as you can see, like here, I got 1 pixel more. So let's see what happens if I do 30, 30. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Okay, so yeah, I do want to grab it here, cut, 30, okay, good. There you go, awesome, great. Now, okay, so I'm gonna go to code. So I'm gonna change Red Boy to Game Boy. There you go, I got my character in the screen. Something else I wanna show in the screen is the diamond. Did I call it diamond? I hope so. I'm gonna put it in 40. Let's see if it appears. I didn't change the name. Did I change the name? I didn't change the name. Diamond. Apply. Good. Oh, that's a big diamond. So let's make it, how about 10 and 10, well, 15, 15. That looks better. Yeah, I like it. Okay, cool. So I got the two characters on screen. Will they move if I click my arrows? No, they're not moving at all because there is no logic for that to happen. So, this 0 right here, for me to make my character move, let's say to the right, I would have to change this to a 4. Well, actually, no, to the right, it would be the first one, sorry. Let's say a 2. Okay, now a 4, 4, 6. So it's moving, as you can see, to the right, little by little. It's not how a video game is made. You have to have some, well, logic to it. So there's interactivity going on, which right now is not happening. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to delete this 0. We're going to grow with concept little by little, right? So right now let's recap. We have this function called the draw function. It's drawing a sprite. The first parameter, it's the image. The second one, it's its position in X. Third one is the position in Y, in the Y-axis. So let's say horizontal position, vertical position, or X, Y. The width, the height. We got that covered. But these are values. If we want that to be interactive, we're going to need something called variables. And variables vary. They change. And we need that for this game. So let's make a variable. Let's start off with a variable name Game Boy underscore position. Well, let's call it expos because it's exposition. Actually, I want to make them shorter, so let's do GB exposition, expos. And so we name a variable. That's how you create a variable. It's called GB expos equals, let's say 0. Okay, good. And now let's make another one. But instead, it's going to be Y position. So remember, this code in the init function is going to run once. And here, in the update function, it's going to run several times, 60 per second. So instead of putting a plain static 0 here, I'm going to change it to GV X position. And here we're going to change it to GV Y position. So what it's going to do is going to grab the value inside that variable. Okay? So how do we make that that value inside the variable change? For that, we're going to need something called a conditional. And a conditional works with something called a condition. So a condition, it's something to be checked by the program. For example, we can check, let's see if this works here in the console. Keyboard.up gives a 0 back because that's false. It is not being pressed. Let's say 1 equals to 1. Yes, it is true. So I wasn't sure if in Microstudio to check if something is true, you use double equal signs. Keyboard.up is a condition that checks if the keyboard button, the up arrow is being pressed, and in this case it's not, so it gives a 0. You could tell a 0 is a false and a 1 is a true. Several languages use it in different ways. For example, in Python, you would get a false and a true. In this case, you're getting a 1 and a 0. So that's a condition. A condition always evaluates to true or to false. Always. Okay? So we're going to use a conditional. A conditional is saying if this condition is true, do this. and you can like make it bigger, saying if this condition is true, do this, if not, do that, or you could grow in several ways. But in this case, we're gonna write if keyboard dot write. Did I spell it right? Yeah, right. Give me 1 second. I don't want to mess it up. You can say I'm not a native speaker, English speaker. Okay, yeah, right's right. Okay, then, so if and then always gotta go. Always, always, always. Then what you want to do is you want to do, you know, I want that Game Boy, no, sorry, GV X position equals, well, I want it to grow. I don't want it to be like 1, because in that case, let's see what happens if I do that. So I'm going to reload the game. Oh, function not matching end. Oh, okay, sorry. Every function here ends with an end. And every conditional as well should end with an end. You can see I have here some space. I like to do my code that way. I use the tab key to do that, but I'm pretty sure you can just leave it like that, and it's gonna work like a single line, and it's gonna work the same way. So in my game right now, if I press the right key, the X position should change to 10. Oh, it did. And it's drawing several times, so it's not clearing the screen. So that's why we have that. Actually, that's pretty funny. I'm gonna leave it like that just to like grasp some concepts. We're gonna get rid of it later on. So I don't want it to change the value 1. I want to, sorry, let's say that again. I don't want the value to be changed in one occasion. I want it to increase every time I press the key. So I don't want to do that. I want to do, you know what? I want GV X pos, the X position, to change to whatever it is inside that X position, but whatever is inside plus 1. Okay, let's do that. So if I press, oh my God, look at that. It's going to the right, but it's not. I cannot go backwards because there's a logic for that, and it's leaving like this, like, I don't know how to say it, but like this himself is you know, painting the whole thing. Anyway, that's not what I want as well. So let's just get rid of that painting thing, which is really fun. I'm gonna screen dot. So the first thing I want the draw function to do in each like repetition, I want to clear the screen. Clear, that's a function. Let's see if that works. So, oh, good. It's moving to the right, not to the left though. Okay. So let's copy this one right here, and let's make another one. So if you want, you can pause the video right now and try to figure out on your own, which you probably maybe have figured something out now. Instead of right, now if I want to move to a left, the keyword for that is left. So in these particular cases, for keyboard.right, keyboard, so those are reserved words. Those are words that the program already has, like within, and you cannot change those. Maybe you can, but I don't know how. I just use them. So if keyboard.left is pressed, so if this is true, if it is being pressed, then I don't want to increase 1. I want to decrease 1, right? So let's try that out. Oh, look at that. I got a Game Boy moving. Looks like a BMO from Adventure Time. Oh, so fun. It's moving. Great. Now, I don't like that here. I don't like that I cannot go up and down. So let's bring it up. But now, okay, I gotta increment, but not the X position variable, but the Y position variable. Oh, interesting, the Y position variable, that's nice. X position, the Y position, sorry. So let's try it. Let's try it here. Oh, I gotta click on the screen. Oh, it's not moving though. Let's reset it. Boop, boop. Then Y position. Oh, look at that. I'm missing the underscore here. My God. Okay. Boop, boop. Let's see. Move live. Right. It's not moving up. What is it? Oh. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, good. And let's repeat this code right here. And we're going to change Y position. We're going to decrement. Decrease. Decrement, is it that will say? I don't know. Let's see. Up and down. Oh, sorry. No. The down. I don't think you have to. Actually, I think this like updates live, so you don't have to like click on anything. So I got my Game Boys moving all the way. Yay! Awesome. So we got that. If you want to go further and to make a cleaner code, instead of saying gv x position equals gv x position plus 1, you can always change that. This same logic can be done with something called, so you know, the plus is an operator, the equal is an operator. This is called an assign operator, actually. It is not for checking. As we saw before, for checking something, you use this and you get a condition, right? Which, yeah, it's pretty much that. So this is an assign operator. An assign operator assigns these, whatever this evaluates to this variable, to whatever you have here, in this case a variable. Yeah, I think pretty much it's always a variable. I don't know if there's another case. Anyway, so you can use something called an augmented operator, and you can do that by saying plus equal, no, plus equal. You can say plus equal, and it's pretty much the same now. Oh, there you go. It's the same, but you got a shorter code. So I'm going to do that with all of these. Less equal, plus equal, no, plus equal, and you can leave it as you want. So something you want to take care of is that your code is readable for yourself. As you can see, there's like a little check mark that goes around here anytime I do something. There it is. There it is. So Microstudio always saves automatically. So that's cool. That's really cool. Okay, we got this code done. But as you can see, I have so many values laying around. Game Boy. The speed my Game Boy moves right now is 1. I would have to change all of these. You know, if I want to move double the speed, I would have to change, instead of a 1, a 2, in all of those spaces. It's just not a practical way of doing a game. And for that, now that we learn about variables and we learn about, yeah, pretty much all you need to know now is variables for the next concept I'm going to show you, which is an object. So an object is a better way, it's a way of structuring data and functions, variables and functions encapsulated in an object. Okay? So we're going to go deeper into that, but for now, we're going to make an object called, so to create an object, what you need to do here, you're gonna name the object player. Well, we're gonna create an object, and we're gonna assign it to a variable. Okay, that's pretty much how it works. So I'm gonna player equals object, right? And this object is gonna have several. We don't call it variables inside an object. We call them properties. So the properties inside the player character are going to be x. We don't have to, now because this x is inside this object, we don't have to say gvx position because now we know it's inside the player. So, so let's say x, and we're going to equal that to 0. Go to y, equal that to 0. And let's make a speed property, which is going to be, let's make it 2. And we're going to have an image, right? So the image is going to have within itself saved the name of the sprite it's going to be using. This is really, really useful when you have several images for a character. In this video game, we're not going to get into that. But for example, I have like a running image. I have a jumping image. So you might want to have that all in the same place. And yeah, not having to, you don't have to remember actually like the name of the image, because you're going to, you can name the property as you want. Bear with me if this is kind of confusing. I hope it's not confusing though. But let's call this Game Boy because that's the actual name of the image. And we're going to call end, okay? So instead of saying GVXPOS, we're going to say player dot x. So this is really interesting. We're looking for our object named player, and inside we're looking for a property called x. So that variable is not now like a like a scattered variable there. It's inside something. It's inside this object we created, and makes it more like structured. So instead of this again, we're gonna player.x. Here we're gonna put player.y, and here we're gonna go with player.y. Good, awesome. And in here, instead of Game Boy, we can put player.image. Here, instead of XGB whatever, we can put player.x. Here, instead of this, we can put player.y. Actually, we can even put like the size of our player. We can add here the width of our character is going to be 30, and the height, yeah, pretty sure it's going to be 30. And in here, we're going to go player.width, player.height, yeah, good. So it should work. Yep, works pretty much the same, but we got more structure. We have an object now, and our object is the player itself, and we have all the properties of that object here. Okay, and we can refer to them saying player.whatever, instead of like having those to remember, like Game Boy X position, Game Boy Y position, Game Boy, like it's better. And also something we're gonna see later on, we're gonna have so every object can have inside of it properties and also methods, which are functions, but they're inside the object, and it's something that only the object can do. So that's pretty interesting. Good so far. We got our character that moves. That's awesome. Now, how about we try to make it collide with our diamond? So let's try to keep it separated. We have our first function, second function, third function. Here they are. Why don't we create an object for the diamond itself? That would be better, right? So let's say diamond equals object. We got a position in X. Doesn't matter if it has the same name, because they're in different objects. That's really cool too. We don't have to go diamond underscore X, diamond underscore, we can speed. We don't need speed. We do need an image though, an image, which is the string. So something I forgot to tell you, there are several data values. Whenever we write numbers, that data value is called an integer. And then we have strings, which are these text within the double quotes. So here in this image, we're going to call it diamond. If you have a decimal point here in the value, then you would have a float value because you have a floating point. Actually, the string is really interesting. The name came from before strings. You can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure it came because before a string value was created, there was only char values. So it's only a character value. So when they got like a string of values together, then you would get a string. I'm hoping that's right. I'm gonna copy this whole thing right here. So we're gonna use 15, right? 15 here. Image is gonna call diamond. In here, we're gonna change to diamond.image. Here we're gonna go diamond.x, diamond.y, diamond.width, diamond.height. Awesome. Good. Should work? Works? Yeah, it works. Awesome. But if I run over the diamond, nothing happens. That's sad. So how do we check if I'm touching it? Let's, you know what? Let's not do anything about changing like the position of the diamond right now. Let's just check if, like, let's check the distance. There are several ways of checking like the collision between two things. I'm gonna go with a simple method here, and maybe talk about a second more complex method. So something cool about having these in objects, you can always minimize these ones. Like, okay, we got the player done, we got diamond done, we don't have to see it. This whole ifs, well, you know, I'm always gonna be doing it. Do I have to be watching it though? That's when we need something called custom-made functions. I don't know if that's a word, but they're functions. For example, the update function is a function that is made by the game, and it's pretty much done. It works 6 times per second, but I want a function called check movement. That's my function. I'm gonna run. So here I'm gonna be running it. So it's gonna be running it 60 times per second, but there's nothing to it. Like, I just created like the name, but doesn't mean like it's gonna work. It's gonna refer to something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do check movement right here, and I'm gonna assign that to a function. This function requires no parameters. We're gonna talk about that later, but doesn't need anything to work. It's just gonna do everything that's here. I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna paste it here, and voila, I got, this is a function that I just created. It's doing these 4 conditionals, and instead of having it right here in the update function, I have it all down here, but it's saying, okay, whenever I run the update function, I want to check movement. Oh, nice. So what is check movement, the computer says? And then let me read. Oh, got it. Here it is. Oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll do it. So every time it's running, it's going here, going check the manual, doing it, go back here, going check the manual, doing it. So why would I want to do that? Because I want to have a cleaner code right here in the update function. So yeah, that's pretty much why. And as you can see, works like a charm. Works correctly, right? Good. Let me have a sip of water. Okay, good. So we got the character, it's moving. Okay, yeah, we're gonna check the distance now. So why don't we create a function called check collision? It's with a double L. Collision, check collision. Okay, so right now it says warning, check collision is not a function. Yeah, I know it's not a function. Let's write what that function is going to do. Check collision. So, well, that function is going to check, has to be checking the distance between these two objects. And if the collision, if the distance is close enough, is small enough, then you should say, yes, there's a collision, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now, check collision is a function, right? A function, got the parentheses, and then we can start writing, and we're going to have the end here. Yep. So actually, we're going to use this later as a condition. So I'm going to just write it as collision. Collision. Okay. So collision, a function, you could see a function as a small machine. I'm going to do another, how was that? Yeah, here. So I'm going to tell you a story. When I was little, I used to go to a Chinese food buffet. It was really nice. And at the end of the meal with my family, my mom would always grab these like shrimps, and she would like peel them off and give it to us and like the whole family, and we would just like dip them in ketchup and stuff, and it was really delicious. But I saw my mom like doing all the things, and she would like that. But I was telling my mom, you know, Mom, one day I'm gonna make a machine where you can put in shrimps with the whole shell, and it's gonna come out without the shell. That'd be an amazing machine. So you got an input and you got an output. This is a function. You could say the function is peel shrimp, and something it needs from the outside, it's a shrimp. Inside the function, it's gonna peel it, right? And I want the function to return to me a peeled shrimp. Peeled shrimp, right? And then we're gonna end the function. So, I mean, this is obviously not code, but I want you to get the idea of it. So this, I have a collision function, and the collision function is gonna create two variables. It's gonna check the distance in between these two, the x distance. Let's start with the x distance. So we're gonna call that h distance, or horizontal distance, let's call that. And then we're gonna say, you know what, player.x minus diamond.x. Okay, I got that. But you know what? I'm not gonna. I want to see it in real time. That's what the console is really good for, to see things in real time. So let's print out h underscore distance. Look at that. So if I move my character, the number is moving. So print is a function where the argument can be whatever you want to print. In this case, I'm printing a variable that is being assigned the difference between this number and this number, right? Let's say my Game Boy guy is at 0, kind of like 0, and this diamond is at 40. So 0 minus 40, actually it's not that, but you get my point, right? It would be kind of like here to be in 0, right? Yep. So that's why I got minus 41. So it's working, and I can get closer and closer, and the number is going to be shorter and shorter, but it's going to be positive and negative, right? I want the number to be always positive, because I'm going to use it later to to compare it to another number, and I wanted that to be an absolute value. So instead of having this, well, we're going to have this difference because we want the difference from it, but I don't care if I'm here and I have minus 62, or I am here and I have 63, 61. I want it to always be showing what's the distance. The distance is 64, whatever. And in here, it's also 64. I mean, it's not, but I want it to be positive. Maybe I went too long explaining that. So I'm going to use this function called apps, which doesn't give you apps, sadly enough. What it does is whatever number you have in here, it's going to make it positive. Apps comes from the word absolute. So it's going to give you the absolute value. So as you can see now, my character is always, right now, is always giving me the x value in positive. As you can see, when I move down, it stays the same because it doesn't matter if I go here because it's not giving me this diagonal line. It's giving me the x, like the x distance, right? The horizontal distance. Hope that makes sense. So, got it. I got my h distance. Awesome. I want the same now, but for the vertical distance. And player y and diamond y. Let's print both. Let's do, oh, but it's not gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be v this. Oh, I got a new achievement unlocked. I don't even know what that is. What is that? You spent 1 hour coding. Oh my god, so cool. Oh, where's my game? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Has the tutorial been 1 hour now? Almost. Oh my god. Okay. It's gonna be. It's in YouTube, so you can always like fast forward me or put me in 1.5 or 2 times the speed. Anyway, I'm gonna print these two values. Let's reset it. Oh, it's only printing. I think it's only printing h now. Maybe. What if I say plus? No, it's still the same. I don't like this part of it, but anyway, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know, like, pretty sure in Python you can do that. So yeah, you can print, like, for now, I have to check that out later, but for now you can check the distance like this. I'm checking the vertical distance and then the horizontal distance in a separate way. So it works. So how could I say, you know what, I'm close enough to be colliding? Well, let's check it. Like, if I move my character here, that's vertical. So if I want to collide from below, that's vertical 17. From above, vertical 19, you would say is colliding. 19, 17, let's do 18. Now let's try from the side. Let's try from the side. Let's see at which point you may say they're colliding. Oh. 19 as well. 18. So yeah, I would go with 19 or 17. Oh, that's horizontal, right? So let's go with 18. So let's do a conditional. If h distance is lower or equal than 18, then return true. Why true? Because collision is going to be used as a condition. So, because later on we're going to say if collision, And what is collision? Well, collision is going to evaluate to true or evaluate to false. It's going to, in other words, it's going to return true or return false depending on what the values are, right? So if age this is lower or less than 18, return true. Else, return false. Awesome. But where is the vertical distance, dude? You're right. Should it be an or an and in between those? It's an and. You want both to be lower and equal than 18 in order for you to say that's a collision. Okay? So V this. So in here now, what we're seeing right now is called a compound condition. And compound conditions are really cool because both of these needs to be true in order for the whole condition to be true. Let's see an example of that. So I have an example I remember from a coding book. Let's say dogs. Let's write it down. So let's say dogs have wings and tail, and a tail, and a tail. Okay. No, I don't like it that way. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, let me just here. Yep. I don't need you now. Okay. So dogs have wings and a tail. So we have two statements, really strong statements. Do dogs have wings? Do dogs have wings? No, that's false. Do tails? Do dogs have tails? That's true. Would you say this whole statement is what? It's false. The whole statement is false. Even though one of them is true, one is false. There's something, if you want to look that up, it's called Boolean. Oh, something maybe I forgot to tell you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But true and false are something called Boolean values. So let's recap. Now you know integer values. Now you know string values. And true or false is a Boolean value, which is like you only have like two of them, true and false. And there's something called Boolean Chart, I think it's called Boolean Chart. Yes, here it is. So these things are like, well, if we're using an and it's false and false, that's a false. If it's a false and true, that's a false. If it's a true and false, that's a false. If it's a true and true, let's say, do dogs have, no, sorry, dogs have legs and a tail. That's true. If we use or, it would mean dogs have wings and, no, sorry, dogs have wings and a tail. So that's a false and a true statement. It's going to evaluate to true because it's like if you're saying a dog has wings or a tail. Well, that statement is true because you're saying or, right? Hope that makes sense. You can research more about it. It's called Boolean Chart. You get and, or, and not. Not pretty much what it does is just like converts to the opposite. So you say not true, that's false. If you say not false, that's true. Good. Okay. So, so if both of these are true, meaning they're equal or less than 18, then it will return true. If only one is true, it's not gonna return true. It's gonna return false every time. So collision is gonna be returning. So what we can do to test this out, which is gonna be pretty fun, actually, I'm gonna. If you don't want to delete some piece of code, you can always add comments. You can always comment them. Comment like in a baseball game or in another sports show? No. We're gonna. So for example, here, you can write comments. Comments are lines of text that are meant for humans to read, not machines to read. So for example, let's say collision, something I want to remember later on, is that this is meant to be sorry, collision. I meant collision to be a condition. So this is meant to be a condition. So this is not an actual line of code that the computer's going to be like, oh yeah, I know that. No, it's not going to be that. It's just going to be something for another programmer to read and see like, oh, okay, I got it. And so what you can do, if you don't want to delete pieces of code, you can always add this. Whatever is in front of these two forward slashes, it's going to be a comment. So in this case, now this line is not deleted. You can have it there just for reference. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. Why do I have an X here? Not matching an end. Oh, because the if needs an end. Got it. Awesome. Now let's check. Let's print whatever collision is returning in real time. So here, I don't know why the console is trying its best not to print true or print false, but we get the idea of 0 as a false and 1 as a true. Okay, so print collision. So let's check it out. If I move up, oh, check, it's colliding, not colliding, not colliding, not colliding. That's so fun. So I got this condition called collision. And I like that way of phrasing it because you can say, if collision, that's fun, right? If collision, then what? What are we going to do if there's a collision? Well, for that, we're going to change the position of diamond. If collision, change diamond position. Of course, that's not going to work. But I like to work this way. I think it makes it so easy like to read. Look, like I have, check movement. I can always like, I don't know what the word, like hide all this. I don't need to watch it, Like it's gonna be so much cleaner in my code. Like if collision, then change diamond position. Wow, position, the whole thing. Yeah, why not? But now we got to like write that function down, right? So change diamond position. And that's gonna equal a function, and there you go. Okay, so what does it mean to change the diamond position? Well, let me check my notes. we're gonna use like something called random. So we're gonna change the diamond to a new random position. So let's go little by little here. So Microscript, which is the language we're using, which is the native language for Microstudio, has a inbuilt function, that's the word, inbuilt function, called random.next. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, just a random float value. Haha, we use the word. Okay. If you press the up arrow, you're gonna get the previous, look, I can go back and forth with the up and down arrow here in the console. I'm gonna go here, random numbers, random float numbers. Francisco, but I need a bigger number because, my screen, check this out, like, dude, I got all the way from -100 to 100, so 200 pixels, all the way in width of the 178 to -178. So I don't care about your float numbers. I need a big number because if I want to change the position, I need a big number. Okay, I got it. I got you. Don't worry. We're going to make this happen. So what you can do is always multiply that float. Actually, JavaScript has the same thing. And what you can always do is if you want a number from 0 to 1 less of what you're going to write, let me just write it down. So random next times 10. Yeah, it's gonna give you random numbers all the way from 0 to 9.9, I think. Right? Because random.next, I'm pretty sure it does never gives you a 1. It always gives you like from 0.0000, whatever amount of zeros, all the way to 0.999999. So if you want to get 10, you might want to use the number 11 here, right? I mean, I'm not getting it right now, but you get the idea. 7, 3, 6, 1, 6, 9, 2, 10. Yep. But you're never going to get 11 because it's never going to give you a 1. You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but I still got these whole decimals. I don't need those decimals, so something you can do is, actually I don't think that matters right now. So we're going to stick with that. But it's always giving us a positive number. Let's work with that for now, and then we're going to repair it. So change diamond position. Okay, I will change diamond position. I can always access diamond.x and equal that to random.next multiplied by, let's not go all the way to 178 because, you know, the diamond has some width. I don't want it to be like outside from the screen, even just part of it. So give me a second. Let me just turn on the light here. It turns off sometimes. Good. Awesome. So 170. Yeah, I think 170 is gonna work. And let's do diamond y. Let's do 90 here. 90. Change diamond position if collision. Okay, let's do that. So let's move up. Oh, hey, why it's not happening anymore? Collision. Function 170 if collision, then should be working. Okay, let me check. Okay, I made it work. I forgot to put this parentheses right here. It was not working because of that. So now, if I touch the diamond, the diamond's moving. Look at that, isn't that pretty? That's just awesome, right? Good, so that's working, awesome. But it's not changed. I mean, it's just staying in the positive quad, like this quadrant right here. Like, it's never gonna go in the left side. It's never gonna go in the downside. So it's gonna stay in this corner, which is gonna be like a pretty easy game. So we want it to go to negative and positive in the same amount of time, like same, how you say it, percentage, same probability. Yeah, same probability. So I'm gonna make a new function. The function is gonna be called positive or negative equals function. And at the end of this, what I want this function to return is just a -1 or a +1. So I'm gonna do, so I need a randomizer. So I'm gonna use the same one, random.next. So what does this function gives me? Gives me random float numbers all the way from 0.00000 all the way to 0.99999. So what would you say the half of the middle of that is? Well, I can say that the middle of that could be if random.next is lower than 0.5, right? Then let's return a 1. Else, return a -1. So that way, oh, actually, I'm missing an end. Okay, so yeah, I'm hoping, it's gonna work anyway, but I'm hoping it's just, my logic is good enough, so it's gonna be half amount of times it's gonna be positive, half amount of times it's gonna be negative. So I'm gonna multiply it by 170, and I'm gonna multiply it by 90, but I'm also gonna multiply it by whatever comes out of this function called positive or negative. Fun fact, when you write this way, no capital letter, no uppercase, uppercase, uppercase in the beginning of the next word. It's called camel case because it makes it look like the bumps, the lumps of the camel. Yeah, fun fact. Yeah, positive or negative as well. Good, let's try it. Beepity. Oh my god, look at that. Yeah. Woohoo. Awesome. Okay, that's working. Yay. Also, what I want to do if collision, okay, so these two functions work. I can just hide them. I don't need to see them all day long. Like, I know they're working. Also, functions are really good for you to be able to find mistakes because you have everything like laid out in different capsules. So find bugs and debugging, so that's good. So if collision then change diamond position, yes, but you know what? I also want to increment my score, dude. Like it's hard enough to play. Like I want to get some rewards from it. So plus equal, remember that it's an augmented operator to increase by whatever number we're putting there, the actual variable. So score plus equal 1 when we get a collision. But program is going to be like, what the heck's a score? Let's see. Well, it's not complaining, but it should complain because there's no variable named score. So I'm going to write it here in init because something that's going to be at the start of the game needs to be equal to 0. So let's just, whenever these happen, let's just print it out just to see if it's working. Print score. Let's see if it works. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! Let's go. 4, 5. Oh, I think it like the random was near in a colliding position with the Game Boy. Okay, 6. So it's working. Good. I'm gonna delete this one line of code. No, don't need it. If collision, then increment score. Nice. But you know, let's talk about the looks of the game. First of all, why a black background? Like it's like I want something else. So if you want to change the color, there is something you want to take note about is these matters, like the order of these lines matter. So first clear, then draw the sprite, the player, then draw the diamond. That's what I think. You can go a little bit behind the diamond because first draws the Game Boy. Look, you see it? Look, let's try it. Yeah, you can see it right there. So first draws the Game Boy, then draws the diamond. So diamond is always a bit above in an upper layer. Doesn't matter. Well, it matters sometimes. But anyway, for now we're gonna do the background screen dot, and we're gonna make like a big rectangle. And we're gonna put that rectangle, the dimensions of the screen, and then we're gonna put some color to it. Let's do that. So for that, we're going to use the function called screen fill rect, which means a filled rectangle. And so first of all, the first argument is where it's located. located in 0x, 0y. Good. Third argument, how wide is it? It's whatever the screen width is. Okay, makes sense. And how high is it? Well, whatever the screen. You can see now, you can start relating that a screen is an object. It's inbuilt in Microstudio, but it's an object. You have the name of the object, and you have a property, which in this case is the width. A screen is an object that has a property called height. These are kind of things that you have just gotta remember. Oh, look at that. And next to that, so that's gonna be our fifth argument, is gonna be our color. For that, we're gonna use a string, and we're gonna write RGB. Probably there are different ways. So RGB is meaning how much red, how much green, and how much blue. It's gonna make the color you wanna show. So what you can do here, let's start with something simple. 100, 100, 100 is gonna make a grayish color. If like this is super hard, like you can use software like Photoshop or whatever just to pick a color and then grab the RGB values and write them here. How much red, how much green, how much blue. Or here you can just click Control. Oh, look at that! While your cursor is in here, click Control, and you can have all these colors right here. I'm gonna pick a green. Oh my God. No, maybe not. Maybe purple. Yeah, purple is nice. Yeah, look at that. I like that one. Okay, it's gonna be this kind of color. So these would be the values, but I mean, how would you humanly get to there if you're not watching the color? You gotta be a machine to do that, which we're not. Okay, so fill rect. Now first you get the, if you don't do it this way and you could do it at the end, you're not gonna see your characters, so that's why we have some order here. First the background, then the sprite, then first then the player, then the diamond. Good. Good. Okay, we're almost done. Now we need a timer. So let's make a variable called timer, because that's a reserved word. Whenever you get these like kind of color, it means it's a reserved word. I don't even know what that is for, but I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna call it timer. It's gonna be equal to 30 seconds. But it's just a number right here. It doesn't mean it's gonna work. So we have to make it work for us. So something you can do, something for us to like get a sense of what's going on. Let's just print in the screen. Let's just print in the console first. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that in the console. So let's, here in update, I want to do something. I'm going to go timer. Remember the augmented operator, minus equals. I'm gonna subtract. If I wanted to subtract 1 every second, but this function runs 60 times per second, well, don't worry, because we invented fractions, and we can say 1/60th part of a second. And we take that out, and let's print it and see how it goes. Print timer. Wow. Oh, 160 timer? Yeah, why is that? Okay. 29, 28, 27, 26. Oh my God, that's so nice. Look at that. It's working. It's a working timer. So beautiful. Okay. So timer is working. I'm not going to print it now. I don't want to print it here. I'm going to print it on the screen of the game, because players are not going to see the console. That's for me, for a programmer, for you, for a programmer like you. But players don't want to see like all those things being printed. So for that, we're going to use a function called draw text. Yeah, that's the one. So I'm going to start separate. Something I do now is I'm gonna do here like, well, you know, this is everything related to the background. Just want to remember that. And this is everything related to the player and diamond. So I'm gonna show player and diamond, so I don't remember, I don't forget that. In here I'm gonna make another comment saying show stats, because I'm gonna show not just the timer but the score. So the function you want, well, the object screen, we know that. Instead of draw sprite or fill rect, we're gonna do draw text. Draw text. And then, okay, first parameter. What are you gonna print? What's the text? Well, you know, the text is gonna be the timer variable. Awesome, awesome, timer variable, yeah. It's gonna be quite long now. Anyway, we're gonna repair it later on. Next up is how to the right, or how, yeah, to the left, we're gonna put it. So we're gonna go 140 here. How high? 90 works. Then 20 is how big the font is. That's the font. So you can see right now it's being drawn here. If I put the cursor here, it's 90, 140. I already made this, so that's why I know. 20, the font, and then the color, I'm just gonna go with white. I'm pretty sure some programming language can let you write just like white. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Instead of, so the RGB value of white would be 255. 255. There's an awesome reason why it's 255, but we're not going to talk about it now. 255, 255, 255, and it's white. Or some programs have like some basic colors written in it. So in this case, Microscript has white in it. That's awesome. And let's reset it. Oh my God, look at that. I don't want to see that. That looks like a ticking bomb. We don't need the whole decimal thing. So something we can do is there's a variable called ceiling, which means show me whenever, if you give me, so if I have 4.5, just give me the biggest number, the round up to. So if I say ceil, as in ceiling, I get a 5. Interesting. There's also another one called floor, which if I put like a 4.5, rounds down. I don't know if the word's round, but it goes down, okay? So here, because I want to start with a 30, I'm going to go ceiling, the timer. Awesome. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Check that out. 30, 29. Oh my God. Beautiful. Great. But I do want to, like, I mean, it's kind of obvious that that's the time, but I want to just like, just why not? I'm going to put here time, two dots, and then I'm gonna do a plus. There you go. I can always put a bit of a space here. Hoping that works. Let's check if the 30 fits in. Yep, works like a charm. Great, great. So I got time. Awesome. Why don't we do score now that we're here? Let's just copy this line. Let's change the word time to score. Ceil. Well, actually, we don't need ceil because score is an integer value. So I'm going to just put score. And the values for score is going to be minus 140. 90 still. 20. Yeah, the font. And white. Awesome. Let's see how that goes. Oh my God. Look at that. So beautiful. Now the game doesn't end now if it gets to 0, so I want that to happen. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a conditional here, and we're gonna say if timer reaches is lower or equal to 0, actually we don't have, if we just get lower than 0, it's going to stop. So I'm going to put just lower than 0. Then I want, so we're going to learn a new concept named flag variables. And flag variables, it's just a variable that has within itself a flag. I mean, it's not a flag, but it's like game's over, game's not over. Game's over, game's not over. So in this case, we're going to have a flag variable called game over, which is going to be equal to false. Because at the start of the game is not over. So game over is not false. So, but if timer reaches 0, well, 0 minus 0.00001 or whatever, just lower than 0. Actually, you know what? We can put the equal sign. I think it's a good practice to do the lower, because if you do by increments, and if you skip the 0 by any chance, you make sure your game stops. So we're gonna say game over is gonna be equal to true. That's gonna be our case. Else, if timer doesn't reach that, then everything I had here is going to be inside this thing. The game is pretty much, the game is going to run. So let's recap. If timer reaches 0, yeah, then game over is true. If timer doesn't reach 0, then timer, check movement, collision, score, anything you have to do, like just do it. Just let the game run, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. But what if game over reaches 0? For that, we're going to go to the draw function, and we're going to make, well, what's going to happen if game over, so if this is true, if game over is true, so you can say that as a condition, because what's inside the variable, it's a Boolean value. So you can say if, what it means is what is inside the variable is a true or false. So you can say if game over, true or false, then what? Then we're gonna screen. You know what? We're gonna draw a red rectangle with low opacity. I'm gonna show you how to do that, which means like a bit transparency in it, and so we're gonna do fill rect. Okay, so with an uppercase here, fill rect. It's gonna be in the center. X center Y. How big? Screen dot width. Screen dot height. And the RGB has a 4th value. That's optional, you don't have to do it, but it goes from 0 to 1, and it's the opacity. So I'm gonna just do it red, whole red. So remember the R is the first value, red. I'm gonna go 255 on that. I'm gonna go 0 in the second one, 0 in the third one, and a 0.5, half transparency in the opacity value. No matching, and yeah, so that's, yeah. And then I'm gonna write something. So I'm gonna copy this one from here. So instead of score, I'm gonna just write game over. It's gonna be in the center. So we're gonna go 0 here. I'm gonna go 0 here. Size, I'm gonna go with 50 and white. Oh my god, look at that, isn't that pretty? Let's do it again. You know what, I'm gonna change the timer to 4 just to like make it quicker. 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Oh, that's so nice. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think our game is pretty much done. Something I want to show, something I do want to like do, because I think it matters. So what our game is not doing, though, you might not have noticed that so far, is that, well, keep score, yeah. The diamond keeps within the range of the screen, because, but the Game Boy can move on all the way to infinity and beyond. So we want the Game Boy to stay in within parameters, right? So there's a function. I didn't wrote that function. I grabbed it from one of the libraries here. So there are many libraries here you can grab. You can bring code from it. I'm gonna give credit to the creator of that one. Just give me 1 second. Let me find it. Here it is. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here. Yep, here it is. Okay. So Mr. Ellman. Mr. Ellman. Dun, 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 dun. Here it is. This library called GamesProg. Here you have lots of things you can grab. Someone asked here. I think someone asked here, like, can we use it? Anyway, yeah, pretty like it's done to share, pretty sure. So this is the library. Has so many cool things in it. I grab this clamp function. I'm gonna just copy it from here, and I'm gonna bring it over to my code. I'm gonna put it here with all my functions. And what it does is returns a value out of, okay, so this function does have some arguments. Has a value, whatever the value is, a lower limit and an upper limit, right? And then gives you whatever is maximum. The value or the lower limit. And then, okay, so what it is doing here is checking against the lower limit. If you reach below that lower limit, it's gonna bring you back to the lower limit. So it's like, for example, if I'm saying, you know what, min, which is give me the minimum of, you know what, let's say Game Boy went too far. It went to -10 in X. But you know the limit's -5, dude. You shouldn't go. Actually, let's use real numbers. It went to -200, and you know we have checked so far that the limit is 178. Actually, I'm gonna go 175 because we're checking against, I think, the standard part of the. So what it's gonna give me back is no, I'm sorry. Here I should have used maximum. It's gonna give back the limit. And then what if I check? What if my Game Boy is going all the way to the right? Then I do want to check against the minimum. The maximum to the Game Boy wants to go further, wants to go to 200, but you know the limit is 175, dude. So it's gonna give me back that value. So it's checking against those two and then returning it. So you want to use this variable, this function in the movement of your character. So I'm gonna make a function right, where does that go? Collision here, right here. No, here, right here. During the game, whatever part in the game is, which is right here. So check the movement. I think that's the correct order. Check the movement, and then I'm gonna make a function called keep player in screen. That's a function I just created. Doesn't exist now. And what I'm gonna do is keep player in screen. Oh no, equals to function. It has an end, and what it's gonna do, this function, it's gonna be checking player X is equal to, and it's gonna do the clamping of the limit. So check this out. The clamp needs a value, the lower limit, and the upper limit. So if I'm doing the player X, then what I'm going to do is clamp player X again. So wherever my character is right now, wherever it is in X, I'm going to check it against the lower limit, which is minus 178, and sorry, it's not lower as in vertical, but it's the lower against the left is minus 178, and the highest in the right is 178. I'm going to do that with the vertical now. Player Y, player Y, and the value here is 100 and 100. Okay, cool. So now, let's see, I'm trying to escape. You can't. I mean, it's against like the center of the character. So you might want to do like some trials. So for example, if I want it right here, maybe what I want to do is my limit's gonna be, let's say 170 and 170, and maybe here 92 and 92. See how that goes. No, that's not right. Oh, 1000, right? Okay. Actually, I think, my character is 30 pixels wide, so it should be minus 15. So I think it's 178 minus 10, 168 minus 5, 163. 163, 163. That should be pretty precise, right? Make sense? Make sense? Hopefully. Oh yeah, like it. And so here it would be 85 and 85. Let's see if that works. Oh, yeah, look at that. There is no escape now. Awesome. Great. Okay, we got the clamping done. We made two functions now. The clamp, we got it from Mr. Ellman. Thank you. And yeah, we got that. Last thing we need to do is add some sounds to our game. We're gonna add a sound just for the grabbing of the diamond. So we're gonna go to sounds, and I'm gonna suggest to you, there's this really nice website I just found. It's called Free Sound. So this is a library I found. It's really nice. It's called Little Robot Sound. Oh no, that's the guy who made it, I think. Wait, what? Okay, here it is. So it's Free Sound, the website. I'm pretty sure all the sounds are Creative Commons licensed, so it's free to grab. Well, I mean, they're in the Creative Commons kind of deal where you can grab them. And so here you have some sounds. So these are cool. I grabbed, I don't know which one I grabbed, but I grabbed one. And I'm gonna use that one right now. So I'm gonna go, you can find your own. You have to log in to actually like download. You have to log in to download, but I mean, it worked for me. Or you can create your own sounds if you're into that. So I'm gonna go to sounds, and I'm gonna bring a sound in. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I got the pickup one. Pickup is the name. That's the name. Actually, I'm gonna use another one for the start of the game. It's gonna call win. Let's see how it goes. That's cool. Yeah. You know what? For now, no. For now, we're gonna stay with the pickup one. In a later game, we're gonna go with more sounds. For now, I think we've done enough. So we're gonna go with the pickup one, and for that, we're gonna go to our code. We're gonna go to so I'm gonna put the sound every time I get a collision. So I'm gonna go here, and the function you want to do is audio dot play sound. You're gonna name the sound whatever name it has. So for me, it has a real long name. I'm gonna change the name to pickup. Apply. Good. Go to code. Play sound. It's gonna pick up, and the second value you can add is the volume. I'm going to lower the volume to 0.2. It's from 0 to 1. So that should make a whole game work. Let's see if that's true. Oh, timer 30. Yeah, I'm going to reset it. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. Have to run all the way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! It works. Great. Now something really cool you can do is you can always click on this link, see your game in a big screen, send this link to people so they can play your game. There are more ways to publish your game, and you can always reset the game with the refresh button in your browser. But yeah, if you stick the whole tutorial, first of all,